Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the collaborative effort that is the Wrestle Plug podcast on YouTube. And the business have finally joined us once again, not just for an interview, but for predictions. And of course, that means we have Mr. Clean Anton Green. Thank you very much. And the Hitman, Gabe Myers.
Yo. Just again, Anton forgot that again, we are on audio. We're not on video, even though
we are on video.
We're on both.
Yeah.
So
you forgot this one. Yeah, you forgot this one, Hitman.
God damn it.
I tried.
Strikes again.
I tried. Well, I'm a video guy, so I will strike out. So.
But yeah, obviously, you guys know, if you're watching this on YouTube, you know where the Wrestle Plug is at. It's at Wrestle Plug across social media. But if you want to catch up with the business and their podcast, Anton Green, hit them with the deets.
Let's talk business. We're on Spotify, Apple Music, most podcast carriers. We've got Instagram and Facebook as well. So just look us up. Let's talk business.
And of course, we'll leave all links in the descriptions below. And I'll try and keep it relatively clean for the wonderful audience of Let's Talk Business, because apparently they're a more Christian podcast. So now, speaking of something that certainly won't be PG, at least not if I have my way and get a ticket, although very doubtful, to be honest, because tickets are still available, but they're about £400 or £500 for Money in the Bank this weekend at the O2 Arena in London. So, hey, if nothing else, we can watch it live on the network or wherever you watch it illegally, I'm sure. Right, 7 matches on tap right now. SmackDown, we're recording this before SmackDown. Sometimes they like to wing one in, don't they, last minute? We do know that SmackDown has Charlotte Flair versus Asuka for the SmackDown women's title, which I believe is now just called the Universal Women's Championship. I think they've changed the name, something like that.
They've rebranded them, haven't they?
Just do we want to include that in the predictions, or just the 7 matches for Money in the Bank?
I'm gonna need that. I'm gonna need that one for sure, so I'll include it.
He's reaching for some extra.
Yeah,
they might mess you up though. They could be the ones that let you down.
Tell you what, we'll throw it in, and what we'll do, we'll use it as a tiebreaker just in case there's like a draw. So
yeah, okay.
What I will say, because the first thing I will say to Anton, and I'll say to Aeron, I have what you call a Nostradamus pick. So I said to Anton, if I get my Nostradamus pick, I don't care what happens, I win the whole show.
No.
Fucking Wrestle Plug, you don't, pal. That's adorable. That might work on your audio only. It ain't working here.
Basically, I'm gonna say something so outlandish that if it does happen, it's like, you might as well give it to me. At least give it to me, or give me at least 5 points, at least.
Well, we used to have like a sort of double special. So, for instance, so with the Money in the Bank matches, when we used to do them, we used to actually have a thing where everyone could send their predictions in, and you would get double points if you essentially, like, for instance, in the Rumble, if you pick like the last 4 and then your individual, you know, like there's loads of different qualifiers, but I think the more complex it gets, the more boring it gets for people and the more annoying it gets. So we'll pick winners, and then ultimately maybe we'll look for tiebreakers, like, you know, how long does the match go, something of that sort of nature. But we
can I have double points then? Can I have double points in that case?
He's always looking. He's always looking for an edge. Always looking for an edge.
Like charity wrestling. What are you on about, bro? If you want to get down British Heart Foundation and beg them for some stuff, that's fine. Wrestle Plug, we don't beg. We earn our keep here, man. It's nonsense. Oh, please give me some points, sir. Please, sir. Get out of here. Yeah, no wonder. Just straight from the school of Vince Russo. Begging.
Indeed.
Begging. Right, we'll start with an absolute worldie of a matchup. Gunther defends the IC Championship against Matt Riddle. Anton Green, you get the pleasure of starting the proceedings, as you could be asked to come this weekend. No, I'm joking.
Yeah.
So, who you got? Do we have Gunther retaining or Matt Riddle becoming the new IC champion in London?
I'm going to go for Gunther retaining on this one. I think he's still going to go on with that reign a little bit longer.
Fair enough.
That's my prediction.
I see the Hitman stirring over there. He's thinking about it. What have you got?
For me, again, I like Gunther, but again, I'm one of the few fans that actually likes Honky Tonk Man, so I still want to keep that record going. So my heart says Honky, but I know Gunther's going to win. So it's like, Matt Riddle, no chance.
If Gunther wins, does he break Honky Tonk's record? Does he?
He's got to be virtually there now, isn't he?
He's virtually there, near enough.
Yeah.
So who was the other person that he was close to? Was it Ultimate Warrior?
Wasn't it? Well, Randy Savage, I think, and
Randy
Pedro
Savage,
Morales,
yeah.
wasn't it? And
Pedro.
was it Pedro? Yeah, Pedro Morales
so.
were the other two that were like just over a year.
So
I think Gunther's around a year now.
I think he's just about a year over. Just about.
Yeah, because I think Honky Tonk Man was something like, was it 14 months or something like that?
Something like
It was. I think he won it in July, and then he lost it in August. So he either won it or maybe he won it in June, like with the TV tapings. I'm not sure how they. I know it's not a huge like difference from him and say Randy Savage. So
No.
I'd imagine Gunther is like literally on the cusp now. Because they haven't announced that he's broke it yet, so I think he must just be on the cusp.
Yeah, and I believe this is the last major pay-per-view before SummerSlam, right?
Yeah.
So you would think that, by that point he would have capitalized on it and broken the record. So you both got Gunther. So you got Gunther then, Gabe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard not to bet. It's hard bet against Gunther, like, especially although Riddle is kind of popular, isn't he? Like, it's one of those things where there is a little inkling to pick him, but I'm going to stick with Gunther because he's just an absolute destroyer. And also, I thoroughly expect this to be one of the matches of the night. I really do. So, yeah. All right. Clean sweep for Gunther. First off, right, the tag team match for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez get a rematch of sorts as they face Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler, the current champions.
So was that a snore there?
I apologize. See, when it comes to Madam Ronda Rousey, I like to fall asleep a little bit. You know what I mean? It's just not.
I used to love Ronda Rousey, but I feel like WWE have just buried it into the ground for me now. Like, the booking's been terrible. Shayna Baszler, I felt, had such a massive amount of momentum coming out of NXT, and I thought this is going to be her time. She's going to be the next big destroyer of the women's division. Then Vince was like, "Yeah, she doesn't look enough like a woman, pal," and that was it.
She started off on that path, didn't she? That wasn't that Elimination Chamber where she took everybody out and
everybody. And I thought,
bit Becky Lynch, like the vampire. Yeah, she was coming out like a killer, and then she sort of just settled into being.
Yeah, and then she ran into the leprechaun at WrestleMania, and we'll say no more. But So, Anton Green, who do we have?
I'm going to go for Rousey and Baszler to retain.
Okay.
A fine choice, an obvious choice as well, because they've only just won the belts, haven't they?
Yeah, well, the second set as well, haven't they? They just won the NXT as well.
They win those off of oh man.
Like, so apparently they're like champions of all brands, NXT, Raw, SmackDown at the moment. They
nothing like Barry and Isla Dawn and Alpha 5 before they even get going.
Boy.
Oh well, Gabe, who you got?
I was gonna go Liv and Raquel, but obviously Anton telling me that about the belts now.
I mean, you never know. They could be the ones that now go between sort of all three brands.
Because for me, I'll be honest. Usually when I make predictions, women's matches always throw me off. So it's like I always lose near enough because of one of these matches. So, damn it, I'll go Liv and Raquel. I'll go just because it's like, you know what, it'll throw up something special for the night. So yeah, Liv and Raquel.
Well, for anyone who watches WrestlePlug knows that I am madly in love with Liv Morgan. So, I know, right? Hey, someone's got a fucking. Hey, a man's allowed to dream. Fuck you. So yeah, I'm gonna have to pick Liv Morgan, obviously based on that alone. So I'm gonna go with Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. I feel like the only reason they were derailed is because Liv Morgan got injured, and now that she's back and in this match, you would hope that they might do the right thing and put the belts back on them. Interesting as well because the NXT titles, and I assume, are not on the line here, at least not according to this.
Oh, okay. If they're not, then that gives a good.
It's a very dangerous.
Yeah,
they could be breaking it back up.
Yeah, like does that mean Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey are going to go to NXT like, if they lose? Like, can you imagine it? To be honest, like they probably would actually be more over there. That's the really sad state.
Yeah.
But all right, I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to stick my neck out and say Liv and Raquel to win the belts back. Seth freaking Rollins, the greatest wrestler that ever lived. I can see Gabe's face. I knew it. Seth freaking Rollins defends the World Heavyweight Championship against what some people think is going to be a hometown affair, even though he's from Ireland, not Finn Balor, who probably will still get a pretty hot reception, I reckon.
True.
All right, Hitman, who you got?
Me personally can't stand Seth. Want to break his balls and take his kid and beat.
His kid?
welcome to the world. Welcome to the world of the Hitman.
Okay. So my swearing is unacceptable, but him stealing children, that's apparently fair game.
She's got Seth Rollins as a dad, Becky Lynch as a mum. It's like, oh boy, but I forgot I had to be clean. So I'm gonna go with Seth just because he just won the belt, and to be honest, it seems to me like he needs to keep the belt because obviously later on down the line, ...
Cody Rhodes, yeah.
I wasn't going there.
Where were you going?
Oh, no. I'll wait till later.
Is that Nostradamus?
Yeah.
Oh, hello. Hello. Someone fancies themselves a cash in on.
Oh, yes.
To be fair, like it's a big deal, and it being in the UK would not surprise me. And that's been done quite a bit as well. Like it seems like every other year at least they have a cash in on the same night. Anton, who you got?
I'm gonna have to go Seth. I wouldn't think he's losing the belt just yet, but yeah, if he does, I'd imagine it's as you say, it's a cash in rather than losing it to Finn on this one. I'd be very shocked if Finn Balor beat him for the title.
Yeah, thing is, it's a shame though because again, I like Finn.
Just where they're at with him at this point, yeah, I would be very surprised to see it. I
don't know about you, Aeron, but for me, from when he won the Universal title and he got injured, for me, I felt like he just kind of dipped from there. He never
I agree. For years on end, I like him a little bit more now, and I really loved his last NXT run when he was working with Pete Dunne and Kyle O'Reilly and stuff like that. Some really world-class workmanship matches, and that was where I was like, okay, I'm feeling the process a bit more. I'm enjoying it. And then he came back up to the roster again. The Judgment Day thing kicked. I've enjoyed Judgment Day a fair bit, but he feels very much like the third wheel of everything. Yeah. Like he's just not as important. It's a shame because I like Finn Balor as a worker, but I feel like he's got a ceiling that's lower than the others, particularly when it comes to, sportsmanship, entertainment. Like he's just not that entertaining on the mic or anything like that. It's a shame to say. I think everyone just kind of is enamored with Finn Balor because he was one of the first big indie stars that broke out in Japan and then came to WWE, and everyone was like, what a huge deal. But we all saw that with Nakamura, and he fucking sucks. So, it's what it is.
True.
It is what it is. I've got Seth Rollins retaining and then dropping the belt the same night.
You go the battle of the Nostradamuses.
No.
The question is, who's cashing in on him? That's the big question. That is the big question. But yeah, it would not make sense for Seth Rollins also to drop the belt this early in just a straight match.
No way.
So we'll see. But I think if he does drop it to a cash in, which is what I'm fancying, he'll probably then face whoever wins it at SummerSlam in a big sort of rematch, sort of hoo-ha, whatever it might be. So that's what I'm thinking. So we've all got Seth Rollins then.
Yeah.
There you go. All right, Cody Rhodes versus Dominic Mysterio.
Looks like a layup, doesn't it, that one?
I'm pretty sure he was doing all right a few moments ago. What happened? Said Dominic Mysterio for me has actually been brilliant. I've really enjoyed his work. Like he is truly funny and entertaining, and he has got the crowd doing exactly what he's supposed to do, which is abjectly hate him. They don't have to pipe sound in for him. He just gets interrupted all the time. If you watch Raw this week, the fucking heat he got was insane. Like very impressive. And obviously it helps having Rhea Ripley at ringside, who's it's very funny. I think the American audience are kind of buying into the toxic kind of thing of, the woman's in charge because you're a little pussy, but it works. It works so well, and I believe that Rhea Ripley dominates him. I really do. So, who would complain at such a premise? But yeah, ultimately, we need to know who's going to win. Anton, Cody Rhodes or Dominic Mysterio with the upset of the century?
Cody Rhodes.
Rhea Ripley at ringside.
Nah, yeah, I'm still going to go Cody. It would be a shocker if he lost to Dom. I'm going Cody. I gotta go for the safe bet.
Well, you know what? I'm going against the safe bet. Anybody knows me, I don't go no safe bets. I'm going Dominic just because it's different and it's a shock. It's a huge shock. But
how often does Gabe lose predictions out of
Put
it this way, virtually all the time.
No.
He's probably won a few prediction battles against me.
Whenever I do a Nostradamus pick, I always win. Do I know, Anton?
No, always.
Yeah.
No, one of his big ones was that Austin Theory was going to cash in the Money in the Bank briefcase at WrestleMania and become champion. He predicted that several months out and said, if I get that right, come WrestleMania, I win the whole year. That was our agreement, and he didn't.
But also,
terrible agreement.
I know it wasn't going to happen. So.
But also, I basically talked about him cashing it in 2 weeks before he actually did he not? And no one basically knew. No one knew.
No. What I think how the Nostradamus thing started is that he predicted last year that Austin Theory would go in Money in the Bank when he wasn't announced for it, and win it and win the Money in the Bank ladder match.
And he did.
And he did enter the Money in the Bank briefcase, like the ladder match, win the briefcase. So that's how the Nostradamus thing started. So he thought, from now on, I'm just going to go all Nostradamus on everything Austin Theory. But he predicted quite a way out that he was going to still have the briefcase and cash it in successfully at WrestleMania. Apparently, it was going to be on The Rock. That was his big Nostradamus pick.
Yep.
That the Rock was going to win the title off Roman Reigns. Austin Theory was going to cash in and be the champion at WrestleMania this year.
We love it.
Vince killed it. Vince killed it for me. Vince had to go and be stupid and get caught, and then obviously he messed up for everybody, didn't it? So yeah.
But if it wasn't for Vince, then your other boy, Vince Russo, would never have got anywhere in this business.
Oh, my gosh.
Hey, you don't like facts? You can go crawling back to talk.
He's a former WCW World Heavyweight Champion, man. So you can't diss him. You can't diss him.
Do we need to really sit down and run through the list of people who won that belt?
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
It's one more than Austin, mate. It's one more than Stone Cold. So
Cody Rhodes is winning. Ridiculous.
Yep.
Of course he's winning. Absolutely no way Cody Rhodes, who has just lost to Brock Lesnar in a high-profile match, is going to then lose to Mysterio. Not happening.
All right, people. For Aaron's show, can I get five double points if Dominic wins?
Here he goes again. He's haggling. He's haggling.
Wait, if you're confident, right? If you're so confident, why do you need extra points?
I am a gambling man, so I'm confident, but at the same time, I'm not stupid.
I'm not taking... We'll be sleeping in the tunnels if we go to Vegas. Stop that noise. I'm not taking him. Absolutely outrageous.
Okay.
First night, bet it all on black.
Actually, no. No. I want double for another pick later, so that's fine.
I'm waiting for an extremely woke person to be like, he said black because he's black. Fuck that guy. Like,
technically, I'm brown, people, so I'm good. So
there you go. All of it there. And Anton's Maltese, so technically, this is an all foreign affair.
That's true.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, you know what? I will take back the double points for this one, and I want to put it for later, so that's fine. I'll take it for this one.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize you were in charge now, but fair enough.
Sorry.
All right. Okay. We'll leave the Money in the Bank matches to last because that's honestly what people are most excited about, isn't it? Which means the Bloodline Civil War, Tag Team Warfare, Roman Reigns, the Tribal Chief, alongside his last remaining henchman of sorts in Solo Sikoa, and of course, Paul Heyman at ringside will face Jimmy and Jay, the Usos. Anton, who you got?
I'm going to go for Roman Solo. It is a tie. I could see the Usos winning it, but I'm going to go for Roman Solo.
All right. Simple and succinct. Gabe, who you got?
Deep breath for me. My gut says go Roman. But you know what? I kind of feel like Jimmy and Jay need it. They left him, I won't say he's abusing them, but by today's standards, he's abusing them. He's getting them to do his dirty work. And it's like, well, the good guys need to win in the end. So it's like, it seems a bit like going against the trait of how, life is now. Our bad guys continue to win. So it's like, well, give it to them.
So you've got the Usos winning this one.
I think it depends if they're going for, it depends what they're going for at SummerSlam as well. I mean, if they are going to have Roman against one of the Usos, I can definitely see the Usos winning the tag match.
Yeah,
to set that up, and if that's where they're going, I could be taking a bad pick here, but
yeah.
That's why I think there's a good chance Usos will win it.
I think Jimmy or Jay is facing Roman at SummerSlam.
Possibly. I mean, we haven't seen anything else to sort of like indicate where they're going for Roman, so it probably will be him facing one of them. I would have thought, but I mean, it could be a rematch. Yeah, it could be a rematch, a tag team rematch. So I'm going to stick with Roman and Solo, but I could definitely see it going the other way.
For me, this is the hardest one to pick out of the matches outside of the ladder matches because, like with the Usos, for instance, obviously you don't want to break them up because they're the best tag team in the company by far. So it's that thing of, but then are they going to win tag titles? Because obviously they're still unified on Raw with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, which means that if they're staying on SmackDown, then the only way they're going to be able to do anything is by going after Roman Reigns more, which means taking the Universal title off him, which I don't think either one will do. No. I think it'll be the perfect sort of send off to the beginning with Jay being decked in Hell in a Cell and all that incredible stuff where he forced him to acknowledge him in the first place. I think that would be a great full circle, but I just don't think that Vince McMahon especially would have faith in Jimmy or Jay being the champion in the company. I just don't.
And the one to end that epic reign as well. I think that's why I feel like something should be significant. It's happened before, but you'd think that something as big as this reign has got to end in a really big way to somebody, either someone like Cody Rhodes or
Goldberg.
Goldberg now. No, not at this stage.
Oh, you never know. Goldberg, mate. Unbelievable. I don't know. I haven't seen Braun Strowman do anything interesting for a while. A little bit nervous. If I'm being honest. I'm like, yeah, no, it's very difficult to call. Especially when you consider who's, but like, theoretically, you could have a cash in on Roman.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Are they brave enough to take the belt off of Roman abroad, do you think? Because they did it with Jinder, but that's obviously very different, isn't it?
I think if Cody had been in the Money in the Bank,
maybe
ladder match, I would have seen that's a possibility, because we talked about that before, and I was feeling, in a way, that doesn't feel as cheap. You know, when a baby face gets that sort of scandal win, like real easy, like taking advantage of the champion, that would actually make sense, because it's finally like giving Roman a taste of his own medicine. He's been so difficult to get the upper hand on because he always has everyone helping him. If you finally got to take advantage of him with a surprise Money in the Bank cash in, it wouldn't make Cody look like a cheap shot artist. It's more like finally retribution. So I could have seen that if it was Cody in the Money in the Bank, that possibly he would have been the one to cash in on Roman. But I can't see any of the others doing that.
Yeah, one thing I like about the ladder matches as well is that it looks like they're going to have somebody a little bit more of a surprise who's going to be the next Money in the Bank holder. Like, there aren't any really obvious picks. Well, I'm sure Gabe would disagree, judging by the scheming look in his face. He's like, oh, there's an obvious pick, pal. I wouldn't be surprised if we got the same, actually. I am going to stick my neck out and say the Usos. Because what is the point otherwise? Like, you know, I know the big turn and everything like that. It depends on the Solo Sikoa angle. Do they turn him as well, or do they wait? I would hope that they would be a little bit more patient, because they've given us quite a lot lately, haven't they? You know, Jimmy turns the Night of Champions. About 3 weeks later, Jay then joins him and fully turns, and it's like, shit, everything's falling apart. Paul Heyman's going absolutely mad. He's been selling it like a boss at ringside. So it's that thing of, but they're also, I don't think it makes too much sense to bury the credibility of the Usos being the best tag team by having them lose. So even to Roman and Solo, they should still theoretically have an advantage because they're a well-oiled machine. Unless we get another turn and, you know, one of them turns on the other, breaking the Usos up and then rejoining.
You know, I think as well, I'm going to add this in. It's most likely going to happen in SummerSlam, but I probably think it could happen here. Rikishi. Because Rikishi's been doing the talks lately, but, you know, that he wants to get involved, you know, with the storyline and everything. And he is part of their Legends deal. And he has talked about him actually coming there. And I thought, you know what? It makes sense. Rikishi comes, you know, I'm part of the family, blah, 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 blah. Kicks Roman Reigns, teaches Sikoa a lesson, obviously father-son sort of thing. Helps the Usos win, but then SummerSlam, boom.
Rikishi takes the belt off of Roman Reigns.
No. I wasn't going to imagine.
They couldn't get The Rock. We'll go with Rikishi.
Can you imagine? Finally, redemption for Armageddon 2000.
I think my only thing is that originally I was going to go Rikishi at SummerSlam, but I thought if the Usos aren't, if either Usos aren't going to win SummerSlam, might as well just bring him back here. So
I think this is the perfect spot for Jacob Fatu to make his debut, but unfortunately, he re-signed with MLW. He would, I feel like he's got all the tools, just like Solo, to be a big star. Great promo, vicious, bigger than Solo Sikoa as well in terms of size and power. You know, he would be absolutely awesome as kind of like, you know, rectifying the error of the Usos by coming in and being the next hitman. So he's got two hitmen alongside him, which would be very cool. And then, you know, SummerSlam with the Usos versus Jacob and Solo would have been absolutely sick. But Jacob's killing it on the indie scene. So good for him, man. You know, he's still holding out and doing well. And obviously MLW is relatively decent in terms of its stature in America. And he's obviously doing well with that. So, you know, whatever. So I'm going to stick with the Usos to win, which leaves us with two Money in the Banks. And of course, the one that Gabe is most excited about, the women's Money in the Bank match for the Women's Championship match contract. So we have Becky Lynch Zoe Stark,
Boy.
Bailey, Io Sky, Trish Stratus, and Zelina Vega. It very much is stars and then workers, isn't it?
Yeah.
Very
Can I go first?
interesting.
Can I go first?
Yeah, you want to go first? Go on.
Yeah. I'm going to throw out there. I'm going Trish. I'm going Trish Stratus literally just because nobody thinks she's going to win. Nobody thinks she's going to win. She's the old girl. She's the old girl here.
She's
Legend coming back
to
to
Raw, right? She's part of
Yeah.
Raw, which means so you've got her facing Rhea Ripley next.
Yeah.
Interesting.
For some reason, I don't know. I'm just thinking again. Zelina Vega, no. Becky Lynch, we've seen that, done that. Zoe Starks, again. I'll be honest. I don't know too much about her.
Good work, so that's why. Not a great promo.
Okay.
She's aligned with Trish Stratus at the moment as well.
Okay, fair enough. So Bailey, seen it already.
Yeah, Becky Lynch cannot win this.
Nah, so
that will piss me the fuck off.
Hey, I'm turning it off. If she wins, I'll turn it off. I'm done. I'm turning it off. I'll turn it off. So I think in this case, Trish Stratus. I'm just gonna go Trish Stratus.
Gabe's going with Trish Stratus. What a hell of a pick that is. Nostradamus strikes again.
Yes.
Train. Who is coming out with a briefcase?
I was going to say Trish Stratus as well. I was actually going that way. I was thinking. I think it's pretty hard to decide who's going to win that one, but I was thinking maybe because also I know you say going for Rhea Ripley, but maybe they're going to hold on to that for a while.
Yeah.
Because it's the whole year or whatever. Maybe they won't sort of do much with that early on, but I find it quite hard. Like Becky Lynch would be kind of an obvious pick, but then I get the feeling she won't win it. So it is there's nothing clear to me. So I had sort of Trish Stratus in mind.
Go Bailey.
Thinking that she might do. No, you can go Bailey if you want. I'm going with Trish Stratus.
Dear, oh dear.
Who you going? Who you going for? Zoe Stark.
There we go.
God no.
Keep it in the family.
I looked at it and I thought she's got a lot of the tools that I think Vince would probably see as a next big women's champion because she's quite jacked, blonde, fairly beautiful. She's got a lot of Charlotte Flair about her, very physical, very physical. I feel like she can have credible matches, but she doesn't have star power for me. That's just how I feel. I don't feel like, when I look at Charlotte Flair or Asuka or Bianca Belair, I don't feel like she's at that level. And I feel like it's going to take a lot longer. She debuted, a month ago on the main roster?
Yeah.
So, her winning Money in the Bank already, it'd be an amazing surprise, I suppose. But, fans are going to be a bit like, really? Io Sky is my pick to win the women's Money in the Bank. And also, she proved in Puerto Rico that she could hang in a main event level matchup when she faced Bianca Belair. So I feel like that would be a smart bet. And also, I believe Io Sky is now on SmackDown.
Yeah. And it looks like she's about to break away from Bailey at some point as well. So
and you got Io Sky versus Asuka has a lot of history in terms of going back to obviously Stardom and a lot of their Japanese runs. They teased it quite a bit, particularly when they first when they did the NXT call up for Survivor Series and that, they had a couple of moments where Asuka and Io Sky were just staring at it and the crowd fucking went ballistic. And it's also that thing of you can guarantee a great high-end, hard-hitting workers matchup at SummerSlam between those two. If she does choose to cash in, it'd be interesting to see whether she cashes in for a normal match or if she just cashes in directly on Asuka or potentially Charlotte Flair. If Charlotte Flair ruins everyone's dreams once again and wins on SmackDown on Friday, which obviously Gabe did not want to pick because he hates women's wrestling. So it is what it is. Yeah, he's kind of halfway there, halfway not.
No, I like wrestling. I like wrestling in general. I'm not a sexist, not ageist. I like wrestling in general.
That's just what a sexist would say, isn't it? Let's be honest. So it is what it is. Right. But yeah, no, I'm gonna stick my neck out and see yours. And again, I'm looking at the others. Zoe Stark.
I got it. Yeah.
Trish Stratus, no, absolutely not. I love Trish Stratus, by the way. I think she can still work. Good.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
But I feel like, does she really need it? No. Becky Lynch can get in the fucking bin. I really like Bailey, but again, she's another one who's had her fair share of the spoils. And then that leaves Zelina Vega and Io Sky. And I think Zelina Vega is extremely pleasing to look at aesthetically, but I watched her get demolished by Rhea Ripley. Doesn't make any sense for her to then win the Bank a couple of months later. So I've got Io Sky winning it. So that leaves us with the Well, it could be the main event, although I'm imagining that tag match probably will close the show, especially if they got Shane. Depending on what closes the show as well.
Yeah.
You know, if the men's tag match closes, you think, oh, hello, is somebody going to cash in? So, Gabe, it's time for you to put up or shut up because the men's Money in the Bank is next. Who you got?
So people may say it's an obvious pick, but I've got LA Knight basically to win it.
Dummy, yeah.
And cash it in. I just got it in just to cash it in.
On Seth.
Yeah. Let's go to cash it in.
Moving, so for you, he's moving from SmackDown to Raw.
Yeah.
Is he going to win though?
Like win the cash in.
Yeah.
Win the cash, yeah. Successful cash in, and LA Knight moves to Raw as world champion.
Yeah. Again, like he said, he's everything what Vince is looking for in terms of physically great on the mic. He did. I think I saw an interview a couple of days ago where they said about how because he's 40. I'm thinking, what has to do with it? AJ Styles is what? Was it?
AJ Styles is what?
Early 40s. No,
40.
he's only 50. AJ's only 50. He's only 50 now. It's like, okay, well, Bret Hart in 97 was what, 41, Anton? At the time?
Must be about that, yeah.
Hogan's in his 40s, basically when he was in WCW/WWF and everything. Later, obviously,
but Hogan's a big fucking steaming pile of shit.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
great draw, great character. Yeah. Rotten.
Oh, yeah.
So, but LA Knight is the odds-on favorite. Anton Green, do you agree?
He's the one I want to win it, but unfortunately, I'm gonna say I reckon Logan Paul would do it. I don't want him to. I should probably pick LA Knight just to will it into existence, but I won't be upset if my pick is wrong of Logan Paul. I won't be upset. I'll be happy if LA Knight wins it.
Anton Green, I'm obviously rubbed off on you a bit over the weekend. Swinging for the fences with that one.
Yeah, I hope I'm wrong. I won't be upset to be wrong, but there's an inkling that he'll get it, and I don't know if it'll cash it. I don't think it'll cash it in same night, but it'll just be that extra sort of social media attention, that kind of thing, you know, where
ESPN, CBS, Fox. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I reckon they might go with it just for that business reason. Like, otherwise, LA Knight's kind of the one that it seems to be geared for him, and I'd love to see him do it, but unfortunately, I've got a bad feeling that Logan Paul will be the one.
So you got in this match, you have Logan Paul, Damian Priest, Butch, Santos Escobar, LA Knight, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Ricochet. Just for people who may not necessarily know who's in it.
I was going to say, sorry, but before you give your pick, Aeron, to me that doesn't sound like a great. Again, forgive me. I know people might say what I'm talking about, but it doesn't sound like a star-filled match.
And that's the intrigue, isn't it? Though.
Yeah.
Oh, you haven't got an obvious star in here.
No.
Like, you've got some great workers. Like, I think Butch and Santos Escobar in particular will really do well with the ladder concept.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I feel like they'll do some crazy shit. I really like Santos Escobar. I feel like he's massively underbooked and underutilized. I feel like when if he'd had more legit, I like the guys that are with him, whatever, Whacking Wild and the other guy, but it's that thing of they're just kind of everymen, good workers. You know, they haven't really got much going on. If he'd had something a little bit more star power alongside him, I like the idea of them being a really dominant faction. But yeah, no, I don't see either of those guys winning it. Nice for Butch though, and obviously he's going to be massively over, isn't he? Like, let's be real. Like, the pop's going to be unreal for him. And actually, for all those people who shat on the Butch gimmick, I think it's worked. I do. I think it's worked really well. I think Pete Dunne is just Pete. It's boring, isn't it? It's just Pete Dunne. What do you do? With Butch, he's a little bit more unhinged. He's got the added value of the Brawling Brutes and things like that. I think Butch has worked. No, it's not main event level. No, it's not what everyone would have wanted. But, you know, everyone shit on it from early doors, but it's actually paid reasonable dividends, I think. I think it's done all right. I have Damian Priest winning the men's Money in the Bank ladder match.
Well, to be fair, I know at one point they was really big. Oh, well, they seem to be really big on them. Obviously, in Puerto Rico and everything, they gave them responsibility. You know, so yeah.
I think it's more of a heart choice than it is a sensibility one. I think LA Knight is probably the most sensible pick and probably will win. But I feel like you've just had a draft. Having a SmackDown guy win and then cash on a Raw champion, yes, it's exciting in the moment, but then it's like, oh, okay. It's the other thing as well of who realistically can face Roman. Like out of all these people, the one who looks legitimately like he could give him a bit of a shit kicking for me is Damian Priest.
True.
And I feel like he will cash in on Roman Reigns.
Like Money in the Bank or a later date?
I don't think it'll be a Money in the Bank.
No.
I think the women's Money in the Bank contract might. That can't obviously be cashed in, but I feel like that's probably going to be cashed in maybe very, very quickly, maybe the next night. I'm not entirely sure whether they've set a precedent as to whether you can cash in on either champion or not either.
Like, no, I think they've kind of left that open, haven't they?
On your brand, or
yeah, I think they've kind of left that open to what suits. I think they never really
in that case,
I fancy
Damian Priest a little bit more as well, because if it's brand restricted, I cannot see LA Knight just knocking off Roman Reigns just like that.
No.
I don't think that'll happen. But I also do not want a situation where they just cash in and lose. They've done a few of those, and it's I think the whole point of this briefcase is to kind of elevate somebody into that next level. And by having them lose, like Baron Corbin, for instance, then it wastes the entire premise.
Yeah.
What?
Oh no, because I'm one of the few people in this world that actually do like Baron Corbin.
No, I think Baron Corbin's fine, but is he a world champion? Absolutely.
Oh no.
But I think Baron Corbin actually does his job, and I think in this day and age, it's really unpopular and uncool to do your job properly.
Yeah,
be a proper heel. Like if look at LA Knight, for instance, he's super cool, he's super funny, he's super entertaining. You shouldn't be entertaining me as a heel. I should hate you. I like Dominic Mysterio is one of the best heels in the company because everyone abjectly hates him. They want him to.
It's almost like you have to be bad at, like, they perceive Dominic as bad, and that it's almost like you have to be bad as a wrestler, like not as in bad, not good. That seems to be anyone, because Dominic Mysterio is going to start to become really popular as this character sort of take. It's almost like you just have to be rubbish, and then they genuinely boo you. If they start to think, okay, your wrestling's good or your promos are good, your character's good, they like you. And so it's like,
Vince, I'm ready. Yeah. Put me in. I'm a terrible worker, but I guarantee I can get heat on all them fat rednecks. Get me in there.
Bring me as his manager. Bring me as his manager as well. Bring me as his manager. You know what I mean? So
I'll carry the towel. I'll carry the water.
Maybe the bank. Oh my gosh.
Unleash the business. What do we think about the concept? There's been a little bit of talk lately. It's gone under the radar. What do we think about the idea of them introducing a Money in the Bank ladder match for tag titles?
They did do it before, though, didn't they? They did do a tag team Money in the Bank. Quite a few years ago.
I know they did a tag team elimination chamber. I don't remember a tag
I think they did. Yeah, I'm sure they did. Like,
I forgot about that. I bet that was a banger.
Yeah, I'm sure I had like the New Day and Tyson Kidd. Those guys. I might be mistaken. I might be mixing up with the elimination chamber. I got a feeling we've had because we've had tag.
They've done a couple of elimination chambers.
Yeah, we've had tag team ladder matches. For some reason, I'm thinking they have done a tag team. I might, like I say, I might be mixing up with the elimination chamber.
Might check it. Might have a look.
Because there's no reason not to do that. I mean, they've done plenty of tag team ladder matches over the years now, even like the TLCs.
Oh yeah,
like multiple teams, isn't it? So it's the same concept.
Like there's more intrigue in that as well because ladder matches have been done to death. Like, what can you do that's new? Like,
I don't think they would have done a Money in the Bank. Actually, I am definitely mixing up because there's never been a cash in. So no. So now I'm merging my gimmick matches.
Put the business in there.
Yeah, we'll take the briefcase.
Yeah, absolutely.
We could just take one of the single ones.
Slapping around the Viking Raiders. That'd be jokes. I'll show you how to get over, pal. With the power of Vince Russo as your manager. Awesome. Put it in. All right.
No,
stay. However, we need a forfeit, don't we? Because what's the point, old boy? It's no fun if there's no forfeit. There's nothing on the line other than pride, and who cares about pride in this business?
Can I change my picks from? Can I change my outlandish picks?
So now Anton's shit in the bed. So what do we think, lads? A forfeit, something a little bit, something chill, not over the top.
Let's leave hair alone. Let's leave hair alone. Let's leave everybody's hair alone.
Beard. He's getting excited, man.
Yeah. I think we need to leave.
I was gonna go Aaron's beard or Anton's hair.
And what about you? What was you? Yeah,
I'll pierce an ear.
Pierce an ear. Yeah. I bet you he's planning to pierce his ears anyway. So it's like, okay, let me throw that in as a forfeit.
God, I want Logan Paul to win so badly. I really want. You know what? I'd love it if Logan Paul did win just for the sheer ferocity.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, there'd be some backlash
create
for it.
controversy,
And that's what they want. Yeah, that's why I think it's a win-win for them, because they get all that attention, like in the press, but it'll also get a lot of attention, like outside of wrestling, it will get a lot of attention, but inside of wrestling, they get talks.
Really fucking good. I think he's a really great heel. He is just naturally a bombastic dickhead, and people don't like him. Also, he's extremely athletic.
Yeah,
he is.
Like, he is a really good athlete. Like, out of all these celebrities and pseudo celebrities that come in, he's by far and away, probably for me, done the best.
Anton, you hear that?
Mm-hmm. No, I never denied that.
Aaron agreed with me. Aaron agreed with me.
All right. Tell him your other point and see if he agrees with that.
I'm sorry, people. I'm going to go off on a tangent, but I want to come back. Basically, what it was, I said that when Logan Paul came, Jake Paul, when Logan Paul had his first match, I said he did better than everybody else in the match in terms of he knew his what's the word I'm looking for? He knew his ring position. He knew his ring position. He knew how to work the crowd. Again, he didn't move. It's like the old back in the day. You do a move, you stop, you look at the camera, or you look towards the audience. He slowed it down. And I said basically he did better than virtually everybody else in the match. Anton disagreed with me. Said,
no, you didn't say the match. You said he put all other wrestlers to shame, like the whole industry. The whole industry.
No.
Come on.
Okay, you know what? I did say that.
The Mysterios.
Okay, basically what I did, I said in that match he put most of the guys to shame, because I said us who do it for a living, we enjoy it and everything, study it. These guys come in, he slowed everything down. He's made it look like, okay, yeah, psychologically, yeah, I would do this. If it was a real fight, this is what I would do. I won't just go bam, 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 bam. Bam, throw a punch, looks around there, and goes for the crowd again. Bam, slows it down.
He definitely milked the crowd really well. Yeah, definitely, he did. Yeah. And I acknowledge that as well. It's like he definitely, like Aeron said, he's different from a lot of celebrities. Like, he showed that he really does. He gets it. But to say that, he's so much better than all other wrestlers, like that's not saying that he's not. Part of it is the fact that because he comes from the outside, from the outside, like that gives him that extra sort of. If you took the exact same person who's a new guy that broke into the wrestling industry that had the same level of talent as him and did the same things he did, he wouldn't get the same reaction, because it's not Logan Paul with all these outside attention and stuff. So that's what I was saying. So it's not really fair to say, you could plug anybody in with that sort of. It's everything, all the baggage that he brought with him that also helped. That's what I was saying. So it's not really fair to say, everyone else, like, they're not getting over like Logan Paul did, because they don't have that, do they? They don't have this extra attention from social media.
Would you agree, Anton, that Logan Paul is probably the most successful celebrity in terms of wrestling?
I mean, because it's hard to say, is it? Because most of them are only like very short term. Like they just came in for like the Mr. T type couple of matches or whatever, big matches. But he's really sort of like it, and who knows how much longer he's going to carry on. Like,
he's got signed a new contract, doesn't he?
Yeah. So I think, from that point of view, like the actual performances he's put in have been really good, and he's still, and he's getting these reactions. Yeah,
fair point. I want to change my pick.
Definitely better than Karl Malone.
Oh, piss off, man.
And Dennis Rodman.
Piss off, man. Better than Karl Malone. No way.
What?
No. Do you know how big of a deal Karl Malone was?
We're talking about wrestling. Yeah, we're talking about wrestling.
He was a big deal.
We're talking about like within wrestling. He did one match. He did one match, and it was okay. It was okay. It was an okay.
Obviously, Dennis Rodman was a bigger deal at the time than I.
Yeah, and he did a few more matches, didn't he? Even had a match with Randy Savage.
You know what? Okay, I'm gonna ask Aeron. Did you like the match that Dennis Rodman had against Savage? Is it
Road Wild?
Road Wild, yeah.
At the time, yes, but because Dennis Rodman is my favorite basketball player of all time. So for me, it was like I was kind of like enamored with him anyway. And obviously, I was very lucky to sort of grow up as a kid watching the Bulls, which was such a big deal to so many people. Like that transcended, sports. That was such an important time period for all of sports in history. And Jordan, for me, is the greatest sports athlete of all time. So, with Tom Brady at number 2 for me. But it's that thing of, like when you look back at it, when you have the chance to look at it in hindsight with more benefit of the business and what we know now, it was still fine, but I feel like Logan Paul surpassed him in terms of wrestling. But in terms of actual power and celebrity power, I don't think Logan Paul is on a par with Dennis. I mean, Dennis, when Logan Paul goes to North Korea and saves a load of people, like,
gosh, I agree. Then
we'll talk. We'll talk. Like, but I can't imagine Logan Paul helping out North Korea. whatsoever. Or at least people in North Korea probably just let them die in there. Let's be real. But that's neither here nor there. All right, those are our picks. What we will also do is we'll open the floor to people. So if you want to leave, your predictions in the comments below as well. What we will do is afford you a podcast in the bank briefcase, as we have done for many years at Wrestle Plug, and actually that's how we picked up Tanvir, who Anton met on the weekend, made his debut in wrestling. Congratulations, buddy. And also also our boy Carl Wilkinson. They both won podcast in the banks and became regular co-hosts, so you never know. So what we'll do is whoever wins out of all the predictions that are sent into us by fans, we will give you the opportunity to cash it in. You have a year to cash in and join us for one podcast, so you never know. That might blossom into a decent co-hosting career. You never ever know. And don't turn your nose up at it. I tell this to guys all the time, because tell you what, the podcast afforded me an extremely healthy living in professional wrestling. True. I get to run all around the country and do MCing and videography and commentary and things of that nature. And that's all because of the amount of time and effort I put into this podcast. So you never know, it might open doors for you. So if you've got any dreams of being in the wrestling industry, it's a good opportunity to get your voice heard. So leave your predictions in the comments below. And also, if you listen to this via the audio format on Talking the Business, send your predictions into the boys as well, so the Gabe can give you a right seeing to, because that's what he wants. Tell us all about how great women's wrestling is. Because
before we forget, Aaron, you forgot about the forfeit. I didn't forget. Sorry.
All right. Sorry. For us to sign off.
So, do we stay the forfeit, or do we leave it open to everybody, like the Wrestle Plug group chat, the fans, and get them to pick one?
Yeah, let's get suggestions from there, but no hair.
No
hair. No hairs.
Gabe just wants to see me without a beard, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's one of those things. If I won, I'm like, lucky. But of course, I'm sitting there thinking, I look like a fat Chinese man without a beard. I don't want to do that. I don't want to look like a fucking Arab Michael McIntyre. It's not good. I'm worried.
Earpiece, beard, or head shave. Please, please.
Could get the business tattoo somewhere.
Oh boy.
I have relative faith that neither of you two will end up in the news for the wrong reasons. So you never know. Would it be a bit weird to get the business tattoo before the Wrestle Plug one? Don't know. What do you think, Anton? You got any ideas for a forfeit?
He's a coward, man.
Yeah, I'm a coward.
He's a coward. He's a coward. He's like, nope.
I mean, only one of us sat at home this weekend, so.
This guy was supposed to put it out there. He was supposed to put business out there.
Come back to Rumble, Gabe. You'll love it. You'll love it. Lots of shows coming in July. Lots of shows. Come along, mate. Spend a day with us. It'll be fun.
If you can get me to, what's the word I'm looking for? If when we're driving, if I need to stop, as long as that can happen, I'm good. Stop along the way.
Stop as much as you want, mate. Like,
yeah.
Unlike some people in this business, I respect people's conditions. So. Wham! We love a low blow here at the Wrestle Plug, I'll tell you. Right in the Norman's plums, I'll tell you. So I'm a terrible human being. Always will be. Right. Okay. We'll leave it there then. I'll tell you what. We'll leave it open for people. And we'll work it out. We'll think of something relatively sensible between ourselves as well. But if you got any ideas for forfeits, leave them in the comments below. Send them to us at WrestleBlog on social media. You can contact the boys, of course. Anton, how can everyone contact Talking the Business?
Let's Talk Business on Facebook and Instagram. So just look us up on there. Drop us a message on there.
And just as one final point as well, if you guys haven't checked out Gabe and Anton's fantastic podcast on the Wrestle Plug when they came on as the business and told us all about their wonderful journey in professional wrestling, highly recommend you do so, if nothing else, for that sexy little GTA graphic. But it genuinely was a fun podcast with two wonderful professional wrestlers. And obviously, thank you very much to Anton Green for being such a wonderful partner this weekend as we jaunted over to Essex and Cardiff. That was a good time, and we'll drag Gabe along at some point with us.
He's coming.
I'll be coming, don't worry. I'll be coming.
Don't worry, we'll leave a bit earlier, so you've obviously got a little bit more time to sort of look after yourself and whatnot. And I'm not sure whether he'll enjoy the KFC jaunt that we had. But could be a messy journey on that one.
Oh, believe me, it would be. It would be.
Yeah, trust me, it was pretty messy when I got home, to be honest. But, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much, especially to the business, Anton Green and Gabe Myers, for joining me here at the Wrestle Plug. And hopefully you've enjoyed this very special collaborative predictions episode. And hopefully next week we'll be able to get together and sit down and actually review all the action from London, if you boys are up for it.
Oh, I'm up for that.
Sounds good to me.
Sounds good to
Happy days. All right. From myself, Aeron X, from the Hitman, Gabe Myers, and of course from Mr. Clean, Anton Green. We will catch you very soon for more content from Talking the Business and Wrestle Plug.
Peace.